The little girl saw it at a glance. Her second uncle had come to visit her with a bunch of gifts, and he wanted to trick her into going to his house to help him seize the family property. But she didn't want to directly expose someone who was trying to curry favor with her, so she lied and said she had to study and didn't like those toys. Unexpectedly, her second uncle was so insensitive that he stayed at her house, and even took the initiative to bring up all kinds of boring topics to get closer to her. Helpless, the girl had to point to an idiom in her book and ask her adoptive father what it meant. After reading it, the adoptive father immediately understood, and said that it meant if someone suddenly starts being nice to you, they must have ulterior motives. Hearing this, the second uncle couldn't help but suspect they were talking about him. At that moment, the girl asked what another idiom meant. The adoptive father immediately explained that people who flatter others are all scoundrels, and that one must stay away from such people. Upon hearing this, the second uncle finally realized that his scheme had long been seen through by the father and daughter. He had no choice but to leave in embarrassment, but no matter how hard he thought about it, he couldn't figure out how an 8-year-old girl knew so much. Little did he know that the girl was actually a princess from ancient times who had traveled through time. A few days earlier, her adoptive father and fourth uncle had competed to bid for a piece of land. The girl had recognized that there was an imperial mausoleum from her dynasty on that land, so she advised her adoptive father not to buy it. In the end, the fourth uncle bought it. The fourth uncle had thought he could use this piece of land to win over her great-grandfather's resort project, but before long, the construction team discovered an ancient tomb, and all project development was prohibited. As a result, the fourth uncle lost a lot of money. In a fit of anger, the great-grandfather drove him out of the city forever. At the same time, the great-grandfather also noticed that the girl was unusual. He even began to intentionally favor her adoptive father, who had been idle and irresponsible in the past, letting him take charge of the resort project alone and intending to hand over the family property to him in the future. Hearing this, the adoptive father immediately wanted to refuse, because he had never managed a company before. However, the great-grandfather reminded him that if he continued to muddle along like he used to, the girl might dislike him one day. Upon hearing this, the adoptive father finally agreed to do a good job with the resort project, but this made the adoptive father's stepmother and her son feel a sense of crisis, especially the second uncle, who had always been the company's manager. He suddenly felt that part of his power had been taken away. After discussing it, the mother and son thought that the girl's adoptive father was a lazy and irresponsible person, and that it was the girl who had brought him good luck time and time again. They believed that as long as they tricked the girl into their hands, he would no longer be so lucky. So the next day, the second uncle came to curry favor with the girl with gifts, but was mocked by the father and daughter and had to leave in embarrassment. But this incident also made the adoptive father feel a sense of crisis. He worried that his adopted daughter might be lured away by such gifts one day, so he quickly bought her a bunch of the same gifts to make up for it. The girl was very happy to see this, but she was worried that her adoptive father had no experience in building resorts, so she asked him about it out of curiosity. Little did she know that her question would uncover a bunch of problems.